Hi everyone, and welcome to RollBound 2. I am your DM, Chas, and I'm going to go down the list and have everyone introduce themselves, starting with Groove.
Good tidings. I am Groove, and I am bound to the role of Jonathan Oneros Phage.
Alrighty, Allie.
Hello, I'm Ali, and I am bound to the role of Prince Xander.
Alright, Minnow.
Hello, I am Minnow, and I am bound to the role of Vivian Deshays.
Alright, Joey.
My name is Joey, and I'm bound to the role of Jay Elwood. Forgot his last name for a second.
Alright, Dakota.
Hello everyone, my name is Dakota, and I am bound to the role of Lycel.
And last but never least, Mickey.
Hi, I'm Mickey, and I am bound to the role of Emiko.
So, where we last left off, real quick, before you all finish your day of just kind of looking around, getting information, because then we can go into the next day after y'all have taken a long rest, is there anything on that day that any of you didn't accomplish or want to accomplish first?
Chas.
Me!
I messaged you about it, but how long would the necklaces take to get enchanted?
Shit, I'm sorry if I forgot to reply. Probably just before noon on the next day if you take it to the same Arcanist who is working on, 4 other things for your party.
Okay.
But, so he'd be like, oh, I have a queue. And it's like, gee, I wonder why. But he can have it to you, 2 hours before noon on the next day.
Okay.
Man's making hella money.
Yeah, no, he's like, business has been great today. Yeah, adventurers came in on your side of town. So, you all go back to the tavern, which its name escapes me. I have to go back into my notes.
It was the Yawning Dragon, I think.
Thank you.
That
That was like the one thing I remembered because that was like a really good name.
Yeah, because its entrance had a cozy
I remember that Vivian and Johnny were both going to the library, but we're both out of commission right now. So I guess we'll just say we did that and talk about it later.
Yeah, we can go over that probably in DMs. I know I DM'd some stuff to Minnow, so if you get a chance, you want to DM me about what you would have looked into at the library.
Yeah, Johnny's just gonna pick up a vampire smut book. You do that?
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's easy. The librarian is
ideally.
yeah, the librarian is overjoyed to show you that section of the library.
No.
Ew.
Excellent.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I have something caught in my throat. Okay. The next day, if I remember correctly, after you guys got a new plan, were you all going to go out, or were we still gonna split up a little bit? Because I think you all still wanted to go to that guy in the Merchants Guild. Was that an everybody thing, or are we gonna split up again and Lycel, Gelwood?
So that night, Johnny's gonna go out and get a lead. And Lycel. And he's also, during that day, after he gets home from the library, he's going to make a scroll of disguise self for Lycel.
Okay. Are you able to do rolls right now, Groove?
With advantage, because sleepwalking.
Oh. you are able to accomplish that before within the night.
Excellent. And does he find a nice lead to give to Lycel and Jelwood in the morning as he stalks about in his black coat?
Yeah, so you got a natural 20 on that into it. Yeah. So, basically, to get things going, because I know that Groove is in a pinch right now, essentially, Lycel and Jelwood, you are told in the morning that that Johnny, as he was skulking about in the city, deep in the night, he discovered a few things. For one, that very recently in a one of the communities that's a little far from where the part of the city that you're in, had like a few breaking and enterings and a bit of like destruction of people's homes. And that the individual, because it was only one, that did this, that broke into this part of this area, is not from here and nowhere to be seen. And that one individual from this incident is actually hospitalized. It's not one incident, I said that weird. It's like a multitude of incidents that all happened in like very close proximity to each other within the last week. And it's in, a part of town where it's like, business owners, just regular common folk people just living their day-to-day lives.
Yeah, he will report this and tell Lycel and Jelwood about it.
And then, sorry, piece of dog hair touched my leg and it fucking freaked me out. But real quick, I'll go into the start of Jelwood and Lycel's little adventure in 1 second. I just want to figure out, for Xander and Emiko, I'd ask Vivian, but she's not here yet. For Xander and Emiko, what are y'all going to be doing?
We can, go to, like, the Adventures Guild. And,
Sure.
do that stuff.
Yeah, let me
Sounds great.
Let me find that guy's name real quick. Because are you talking about going in and turning that thing for killing the dinosaur?
Yeah. And just, like, getting, like, adventure, or, like, tasks in general.
Sick. Okay. I'm gonna repost this in DM's references just so that way it's, like, fresh. And then I'm actually going to start out with Jelwood and Lycel. So in the morning, you are given the disguise self scroll, and then Jelwood, do you go pick up the armor that Saphir made for you?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch over to Jamie Elwood. And make my way to the smith.
Yeah, and we don't have to roleplay through all of that, because you've already paid and done all that, so you get the modified set of armor that you commissioned.
Yep. And before I do anything, I'm gonna head back and make sure that the well, actually, I guess he has a fitting room, so I guess I'll get the armor put on in the fitting room and make sure that it works to my specifications before leaving said fitting room so that nobody sees me.
It does.
Excellent. So now I am wearing armor while also keeping my true form concealed.
And then Lycel, when you do your disguise using the scroll, what does it look like?
I think how that looks is they actually go about changing their hair rather than doing a complete transformation into something else. It is now a shorter look as to how it is in the official art, almost more tomboyish, maybe, with the coloration on their body going a couple of shades darker, as well as their lower set of eyes turning into a almost minty green. So they look very similar, but not exactly the same.
Excellent. So, real quick, Lycel, I want you to make me a perception check.
Perception. I'm pretty good at those. That is going to be a 22.
A 22. I would ask Jay to do it, but also, like, every time I ask Joey to make a perception check, he goes, I'm bad at that, so we'll leave the wisdom person up to it. When you and Jelwood head out on your little escapade, you're walking for, like, maybe about 20-30 minutes, getting to the side of town that Johnny told you about in his little skulking about at nighttime, and there's a few things as you're on your way that catch your eye, as you're kind of like very low-key looking around. And for one, is that when you get into this part of the city, like, it's not like slums, but like you can tell that there is like a decrease in like the fancy architecture, and this is, where things kind of like even out. You're not in as wealthy of an area, and you notice that there are a lot, like at least 4 houses that have like boarded up windows, and I don't want to say caution tape because that's a very modern thing, but they are like kind of like roped off, like there's sticks hammered into the ground that have like rope tied between them, kind of like separating these houses away from others. And you see, like, by one of the houses, there's a bunch of, like, broken glass on the ground that, like, you can tell it's been partially cleaned up, but not fully. And, you can tell that there are just a few places, like, a few houses. They're not, like, right next to each other. They're kind of scattered, but still near enough where you can see it all just by a quick glance from the street that have, some pretty hefty damage to them. And
this was.
Oh, go ahead.
And this was after Johnny had tipped us off regarding this, or is this before?
This is after Johnny. This is the next day after Johnny told you everything. Right now, Groove's at work, so I had to like try to be less detailed about asking him for stuff, just because he's still at work and hasn't fully joined us yet. So sorry about that on my end.
That's alright. I think as they're walking along, Lycel's gonna nudge Jamie's arm and kind of gesture over to the various buildings that have received the damages to them, with it being blocked off from the other houses that seemed more or less untouched.
Okay. So as far as the information that goes about this place, do we know anything about it aside from that it was broken in and entered?
Not really. From what Johnny figured out, he knows that, like, something happened, and that the most recent instance of, like, these breaking and enterings, though, someone was hospitalized.
Is there anybody near the building, or is it just us?
There's a few people walking out and about. You actually see that on the street corner, there is a young man, like preteen, like 12 years old. He's sitting with like a wooden crate, and he's like asking people for coin. And he has like a bandage wrapped around his eye, and there's like a little bloody spot on it, and he's like just like asking people like, spare a coin, maybe? Oh, okay. Sorry to bother you.
I'll walk over to the boy sitting on the ground. He's just sitting on the ground. He's got the cup out.
Yeah, he's got like a wooden crate, like a crate for like fruit.
Gotcha. So in that case, what I will do is I will say, good find. Let me see if I can procure some information from our little friend here. And I'm going to take out the my explorer's pack. I'm gonna grab some dried fruit from the rations, like I don't know, apples or some shit. I don't know what people dry, what kind of fruit people dry to keep them preserved.
Any, you could have dried grizzly slices in there for all I care.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, grizzly slices sounds good. I'll put a couple of those in the box, or maybe I'll place them in his hand. And I'll say, excuse me, young man, would you happen to know anything about this house? I might have a little bit more for your crate if you have some information to part with.
He like looks at some of the destroyed houses, and he points to one that's kind of like tucked in a corner a little bit. And he says, well, I know that one's mine, and I haven't been allowed to enter it in 4 days.
Nothing about that destroyed one there?
For clarification, by the way, Joey, there's more than one. They're not all, like, pushed together, but there are, like, 3 or 4 houses that, like, kind of, like, have broken in, boarded up windows with, like...
Gotcha. So this is like it's like a townhouse situation. They're all connected?
They're not connected. They're spaced out on the street, and they're not, like, the ones that are destroyed are not, like, all placed together. It's like every other house, but they're close enough together where you can walk on one street and see all of the ones that are damaged. If that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
Yeah,
sorry, I know you had stepped away for a second. That's why I'm like, oh, by the way.
All good. It wasn't that long. I just had a piss. But, so then in that case, yeah, she'd go ahead and prod. Jamie will give the boy a gold piece. And she'll say, who's keeping this information from you? Do you know, anything besides why you're not allowed in, maybe?
He's staring at the gold piece that you gave him in absolute bewilderment. And then he, like, blinks and goes, what? Oh, well, the other night, like, he, like, holds his head for a second and goes, it's been almost a week, really. My mom was out getting water from the well, and she saw some woman breaking into someone's house. And my mom tried to stop her, and she went crazy. She, like, bit her or something. It was weird. And my mom started to get really, really sick, and the guards took her away, and now they won't let me into our house, and they won't let me see her in the hospital either.
Did you happen to get a description of the woman that did this?
No, I only saw the end of it. She was wearing a lot of clothes. But she was a little taller than my mom. Pale skin on her. I could only see her hands. She had claws, too.
Interesting. Well, thank you for that. Would you happen to know the location of anybody else that might have seen this altercation take place? You say that people are keeping you from outside of your house. Is there a way that I could talk to the people in charge?
You could talk to the guard, I guess. They don't let me talk to them because I'm just a kid.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm currently on the lookout for a woman that may or may not be affiliated with this person that did that horrible thing to your mother. I will see to it that this house is brought back into your care. Understand?
No, you would do that? Thanks. But I guess the house that she was trying to break into is that one across the street. And he points to a house that's like kind of diagonal to you. That one isn't broken into, because again, it was interrupted. And you actually see that there's like an old dwarf woman out on the porch, like sweeping.
Sweeping up in front of the house that he's pointing at?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, well, I'm going to talk to that lady over there and see if there's anything she has for me, and I'll take a look on the inside and let you know if anything is missing. After I do that, I'll see if I can speak with the guard and possibly, well, you have a gold piece now. You can do with that what you need to get yourself back straight. You understand?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get some food. I could get anything in the entire city with this. And he like stands up and like plucks up his box, which had like a copper piece in it at most. And he's gonna pluck the copper piece, leave the box on the ground, and he's gonna like put the coins in his pocket and go, "Oh, before, what was your name? I've never seen you around here before."
You wouldn't have. I'm a contractor of sorts. Miss Jamie Elwood.
Jamie Elwood. Okay.
Yes. If anyone asks, I reside from Highfriar. I'm here due to a contract that I was given from one of my superiors. Guild business, you understand.
Whoa. Yeah. I know all about that. My name's Max. I'll see you around. And he, like, kind of looks a little terrified. Not in a bad way, but, like, in the way where, like, a kid sees a fucking firefighter and then it's just like, I don't know how to talk to adults, and then they leave. That kind of terrified. You just said that, like, oh yeah, I'm an adventurer from another place, and he's like, oh shit.
I'm trying to let this kid know this place is above his pay grade.
No, yeah, he's dipping.
Jamie will go over to Lycel, and she will say, a little bit of benevolence goes quite a long way. Let's see if we can't find anything from that dwarf woman over there. Would you be able to enter this house while I'm trying to extract information?
Oh, easily.
Then let's go about this tactfully.
I think Lycel's going to wait for a moment where maybe nobody is looking in their general direction before slipping into a nearby alleyway.
And while Lycel is doing that, Jamie is going to strike up conversation with the dwarf woman and try to distract her while Lycel is breaking and entering again.
Yeah, and I say old, but I mean like older. Like she's like maybe in her late 40s, early 50s. So not like elderly woman, but you know.
Oh, how old do dwarves live? Or how long do the dwarves live for?
Man, don't ask me that question.
Well, because to me, I'm used to dwarves living for, about half as long as elves, right? 400 or 500-ish years. So
yeah, I mean like physical appearance. I don't mean like her actual estimated age. I mean like physical appearance. She looks to be.
I was like,
50s.
This dwarf is still a child.
No, like.
She looks middle-aged, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, when I say years to describe anyone, I mean like how they physically look. You know,
gotcha.
got a few wrinkles, got a few gray hairs.
Then Jamie's going to walk up to the middle-aged dwarven woman and try to ask some similar questions just to keep her mind off of the rest of the house so that Lycel can do their thing.
Yeah, and real quick, Lycel, give me a stealth check.
We're going to use my racial feature to cast Pass Without Trace. So my stealth check is going to be a total of... I'm actually proficient in stealth, that's great. 24.
Yeah, so you kind of like skulk throughout the streets, and honestly, again, this looks like it was very, I don't want to say badly patched up, but you kind of like sneak around, and you find that the back door to this house is very, very damaged in a way where you can kind of just walk in. Like, the door handle's, like, messed up, and, like, the door doesn't even shut properly or lock properly. They made an effort to, like, cover it and stuff, but it's not, like, hammered in, blocked off. Meanwhile, like, on the front of the house, like, they have, like, ropes and stuff like that, but it's not boarded up in any way. And while you're doing that, make me an... doesn't remember shit. Make me an investigation check.
Investigation. It's not a great roll. That is going to be a... Actually, let's have this whole point to reroll. Why not? That's worse. So I take the new roll with the soul point, I believe. That's going to be 2.
2?
2.
Yeah, you walk in and you're like, oh, well, getting in here was easy. And then you realize you have to actually find something. And you start, like, looking around, and it just looks like, it's kind of hard to figure out what you're looking for with a house that is such a mess. And I don't mean mess like the people that lived here are messy, but, like, you see that there are papers scattered everywhere, books scattered everywhere, drawers are open, there's food that was in the kitchen that has been knocked on the ground, bread is molded, fruits are bruised, like, it is just a wreck in here. It looks like the place was completely ransacked. It kind of looks like someone tried to clean up, but then, like, stopped halfway through. Like, there's some papers that were, like, neatly arranged in a pile, but then they're next to another pile of scattered papers. That kind of vibe, like someone was cleaning up and got interrupted. But you have trouble figuring out if that gives you anything other than this place was ransacked.
Man, if only Johnny were here. I'm sure he'd be able to make sense of this. I think Lycel's going to continue rummaging around for a little bit before going on to the next house to check that one, the one the boy was talking about.
Yeah, and I would like you really quick to make me a perception check.
We'll spend another soul point. I rolled the same thing again. I do that a lot. It's going to be an 11. No, 12.
Well, a 12 is considerably better than a 2. This always happens to me only when I'm DMing. I burp normal when I'm outside of Dungeons & Dragons, but in Dungeons & Dragons, 3 times without fail.
Power word belch.
Power World Belch!
It was like a bard spell.
Yeah. 6th level
Power
spell.
word.
Allie, write that down.
works,
Write that
works.
down. Write that down. Write that down. I'm kidding. But as you're heading out of this house, because you don't really find anything of value in it, on your way to the next one, you actually do see something out of the corner of your eye. Not even in the house. You see it, like, kind of like in the little alleys in between. You notice that there is a symbol carved into the wood of the next house. And it's strange to you because it looks like it was filled in with some kind of red ink. Like someone took the time after carving into the wood to then paint the insides of it. And the symbol kind of looks like an upright infinity symbol with like a bunch of like extra lines kind of like throughout it and kind of like an oval shape surrounding it.
Now, when you say an upright infinity symbol, do you mean like an 8?
Yeah, but like an 8 that's really skinny.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just wanted to make sure that I understood what you're saying by that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought, to be honest.
Gonna cry.
How many lines are going through each loop, so to speak?
3 on each loop in different directions. So 6 total.
3 on each loop, so they're not like parallel?
They're not. Here. You know what I am, guys? You know a thing that I do as a career when I'm
Bob
not
Ross.
when I'm not playing Dungeons and Dragons?
How is making coffee gonna help in this situation?
Hey.
No,
Hey.
the other thing.
The other thing.
And it's not simping either. I know what your second thought was.
Serving
Wow.
drinks?
They're a fucking
Serving
artist.
drinks?
They draw things.
I draw.
Dwa.
I draw. Here you go. It looks like this.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, that looks far more
Oh.
sinister than what I had in my head. I'm gonna
Yeah. Do I know what that symbol means or is at all?
Make me your choice of a religion check or a history check.
They're both bad.
Isn't religion isn't wisdom? It's intelligence.
No, they're both intelligence.
Oh boy.
They're both
I
bad.
rolled a natural 20 though.
Yeah!
So it's a 19.
I love when someone goes, I rolled a 20. Here's a lower number.
That's pretty great.
I don't know why. It makes me giggle. Because I do it a lot. Because Allie would be like, roll this. And it's a wisdom thing. And I go, I rolled a natural 20. That's an 18.
It looks like it looks like 2 Black Widows are having a really bad time.
But yeah, so with a 19, you actually learned of this symbol from Ada. She told you when the last time you saw her that there was a new, she called it a cult, but she kind of like called it a cult with air quotes. So she said that there was a new cult on the rise, causing problems in Viron specifically. That not much was known about them because they were still developing and keeping to the shadows. And that they basically mark targets. So whenever a symbol is put on a location, that is basically supposed to draw others of this cult to that location.
How sinister. It looks very disconcerting. I think Lycel's gonna try and like sketch that, like using whatever means they can. Maybe like some. We still have any good berries?
Is it just painted on, or is it like carved in?
It's carved in. It's like someone carved into the wood and then filled it in with red ink.
Lycel could put a piece of parchment on it, take a bit of charcoal, and get it rubbing.
If it is assumed that I have charcoal, then yeah.
I mean, you can literally make charcoal
Go
by
buy
setting
some.
a... You can also make charcoal, or at least something workable, by setting, like, a stick or something on fire, you know? For, like, 2 seconds. Well, not 2 seconds, you know what I mean. Like, you just need enough to get, like, to mark a piece of paper, you know? And I would let you do that.
That would work. I was also considering like dumping water from the water skin on it and like just pressing the paper up to it and maybe trying to get the residue off.
You know what? I really like that. And you doing that makes me want you to give me a survival check.
Revival. I think I'm good at those. I am good at those.
You better be wisdom caster.
I'm not good at those if I roll low, so we're gonna use another soul point.
Oh my
That's
god!
much better. That's a 25.
Yeah, you use this method of, like, trying to, like, dampen this ink, and it comes off, like, pretty easily. It still stains the wood, but when you're doing this, you realize something about this ink. A very pungent metallic smell hits your nose while you're doing this. As you have re-moisturized this substance, you realize that it's blood.
As Lycel's gonna activate their ability / feature to tell if anybody's died recently within this area.
Does your thing say how recent?
Within the last day. So 28 hours?
Yeah. Not within the last day, not in this area. But with the 25 in survival, you can tell that this blood is several days old.
Okay, so and then when did this specific attack happen, or do we not know yet?
You do not know yet. Because Johnny told you that there were a few attacks. So when the attack on this home happened specifically, you're not quite sure yet.
I was going to make a mental note of that to talk to either Jamie or Johnny about it later. Almost
Lycel is
talked
going
to
to
Johnny. But does Lycel find anything inside the home, the second one with this symbol on it? Or was that this inside the home? I wasn't sure if this was inside or outside.
This was outside. This was just something on your way to, like, trying to find an entrance into the next home. And you saw this, like, carved into the wood in the back. I would like you real quick to make me another stealth check.
We can do that. I don't think I really need to try and reroll it. It's not too terrible with that. It's going to be a 23.
Excuse me. Yeah. With the 23, you manage to kind of, like, skulk about the other home. The doors aren't damaged, so they are locked. Do you want to... do you have... No, well, you're not a rogue, obviously, so you don't just... I don't know what you have. Make me another investigation check.
If it's for looking for a means of getting in, if I can see any openings, I can Misty Step.
You know what? You know what? Make it a perception check, then.
Because otherwise, that's not going to work out too well for me. Wow! I rolled a natural 1, so we're going to use the soul point again.
Oh my god.
It was almost
I told you guys, he's just flipping a fucking coin.
It's going to be 18. No, 19. I keep bringing plus 6 now.
I'm dying. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is so cool. Lycel gets to do this thing, and she's so cool. I rolled a natural 1. Fuck. But, they... So, I rolled a 1. Fuck! But Lycel, as you're kind of, like, looking around, trying to find another way that doesn't rely on you dealing more damage to the house, because that'd be suspicious. You do see that one of the topmost windows, because this is actually a 2-story house, is broken, but it hasn't been boarded up yet.
Just what I need. And then Lycel is going to cast the Misty Step, dispersing into a cloud of multicolored swirling lights and reappearing inside the windowsill, kind of looking down where they just were.
Yeah, oh god, my light just went up. Ow, I gotta stop doing a gay little sit. Ow. I'm sorry. I do that thing where I sit with one leg crossed and my other leg rests on top of it and dangles off my chair, and every time I hurt myself.
You're just festive. It's Pride Month.
I just wasn't prepared for those specific ways to describe sitting in a chair.
Gay little sit. Ow, not on Pride Month. My leg is numb. Ow. But Lycel, when you get up to the window, you kind of look inside, and on the interior of the house is a bunch of broken glass just scattered all over the floor. But it has been broken out of the window so perfectly that there's actually none, left in the window, so you don't get, scratched or, nicked or anything when you teleport into the window.
I just had a thought. Lycel is going to look around the window for any signs of, cloth or clothing. That would have gotten torn in the window in the break-in process, potentially.
You don't see any. I'm going to go off of a perception check you made very, very recently, just to not make you roll it every 2 seconds every time you say you want to look for something. But you look around, and again, on the outside and in the window exactly, it is I almost want to say neat, but then when you look in the house, all of the glass looks like it was blown inwards.
Well, on the off chance that it happened, Lycel is going to carefully grab a couple of pieces of this pane of glass, because I've seen, I think it was Johnny cast Locate Object before. So if there's any chance that some of this glass was misplaced into the attacker's pocket, maybe we could use that, I don't know. And then proceed further into the house to look for more signs of who might have been or what might have been left behind.
Yeah. Real quick, Lycel, what's your passive perception?
Oh god, that's a question that I always hate to hear. 8 plus
10.
your Wizmod?
No, it's 10 plus...
10 plus your perception.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 16.
Okay. So, this house, it definitely looks like it's been broken into, but it doesn't look as, completely wrecked as the first one you went into. And when you go through this window, it's actually a window to a hallway that connects a few bedrooms, and you see that all the doors are open. And in the one nearest to the window, you notice, and you can see this just by hopping into the window and already starting to look around the house, you notice that in the first bedroom that you can immediately see, all over the pillow on the bed is a bunch, and I mean a bunch of dried blood.
So I'm left to believe that it's probably belonging to somebody that was presumably sleeping when they were attacked.
Yeah, I don't even make you roll for it. That's a pretty good estimation. Just by, pure visual context clues.
Had anybody been reported missing?
When Johnny told you of, what he found skulking through the city, he didn't say anything about someone being missing, just that somebody had went to the hospital, and that there were a few attacks on these homes. But that was all the information that he could find. Not even in a, oh, I, kept information from you. But more of, that is all that was like all the information he could gather.
I think at this point, Lycel wasn't really sure what else to look for. Isn't really sure what else to look for because they've seen where the person was attacked and the symbol and all these other things. They're going to go check on how Jamie is holding up with her investigation.
Yeah, so going back to Gelwood, do you, so as Lycel, like, goes off to go look at these damaged houses, we go back to you talking to this middle-aged dwarven woman. And she's, like, just sweeping off the front porch of her house. Kind of, like, coming to herself.
Excuse me, good miss.
Nah, what?
Oh, my apologies. I didn't mean to startle you. My name is Jamie. Who are you?
She, like, squints at you. And, just says, "My name is Sasha. Can I help you?"
Yes, I believe that you can. I have heard tell from various sources around town that these houses were wrongfully broken into and that one of the owners, in fact, was hospitalized after a very peculiar looking woman happened to bite her on the arm or some other place. They didn't specify where.
Oh. Yeah, apparently some crazy woman was trying to break into my house.
Seeing as how you are still very clearly hale and healthy, I'm going to assume that you haven't seen this woman?
Nope, not a bit.
Oh, that's a shame.
But hold on. And she'll, like, literally, like, she'll lean up her broom on the, like, railing of her porch. And she'll, go, "Where is that girl? River! Come downstairs!" And you see a much younger dwarven woman, maybe, like, looks to be, like, mid-20s, in appearance, comes down and just says, "Yes, mother?" "Someone outside asking about the attempted robbery. Go answer their questions. I want to go do my cleaning." "Sure thing, mother." And, she walks outside, and, like, kind of, like, crosses her arms and leans in the doorway, and just says, "I feel like every day I've had someone come ask me about this. What is it?"
I can assure you that of all the people that have asked, I've been the one with the most interest in the situation. I'm currently looking for a woman. There is somebody affiliated with the one that has been doing the robberies. Judging by the woman's appearance, I don't think that they are the same person. However, the descriptions that I've heard are very... What's the word that I would use? They lack a certain clarity that I'm hoping somebody around here might be able to provide me.
Real quick, Jamie, make me a persuasion check.
Easily done. 22.
Yeah, at first this individual looks, like, annoyed, but then kind of, like, sighs and goes, "Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. Just, I've been asked about this a lot, and it seems like every person who's asked me has no idea what the hell they're doing in figuring out why one of my neighbors is dead, one of them is in the hospital, and me and my mother were almost victims last night. Not last night, a few nights ago. She would have said nights ago. I'm just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And she sighs and says, "I did get a good look. I was the one that shut her out of the window. But
Then tell me. And Jamie's going to pull out the picture of the woman on the wanted poster. She's going to say, did they happen to look anything like this description here?
she like leans in and says, yes, but I don't know, something about the woman I saw was more monstrous.
Monstrous, you say?
Yeah, like she had really deep creases on her face and, you know, her ears were a lot longer. And she had really long claws, not regular fingertips. Not that this picture shows that, but it looks like this woman you're showing me here, but with more exaggerated features, I guess.
That actually tells me quite a bit. Pardon my rudeness. My name is Jamie Elwood. I'm a private investigator with Highfire. My partner and I, who is currently indisposed at the moment, are looking into these various robberies and attempted murders. We're on the lookout for a coven. We believe them to be vampires of a sort. I think that if this person that you are talking about was a bit more monstrous than the one in the photo, or not the photo, the sketch, the diagram, whatever you want to call it, then the coven has started employing the use of spawn, which is, as you know, at least I certainly hope so anyways, a big problem.
I'm gonna make a roll real quick. Okay, not a very good roll. She says, vampires? I don't really know much about that. All I know is that our neighbor Holly, when this individual tried to break into my mom and I's house, Holly tried to defend us and the aggressor attacked her instead. Mauled that poor woman. The fact that she's alive enough to be in the hospital is a miracle to me. I've never seen something that violent before.
Are you affiliated with this person enough to where you'd be able to go visit them, perhaps?
They're not letting anyone visit her. My mom sent me to bring her some flowers and they wouldn't let me in. They won't even let her own son see her.
I see.
We've invited him inside, but he won't come in. But then they won't let him in his own home either.
Well, in that case, would you mind being able to tell me who might have drawn this sketch of the suspect? I need to know from the individual that sketched it if there is a certain quality that a black and white piece of art wouldn't be able to convey.
I think usually the people who do those have something to do with the guard. I couldn't tell you who exactly drew it. Although it says here on the paper that this is news from Paylor, so maybe the individual who did it is there?
I see. I was hoping that it might be somebody a bit more local, but if we have to travel, then so be it.
Yeah, I guess your best case is if this is something pertaining to you directly, that I would ask the local guard. But me and my mom just sell flowers most days. That's really all we do.
The local guard, while they might not be a terrible idea, is a source that we are looking to avoid is to not arouse suspicion of our quarry. You understand?
Yeah, I get it.
But you have given me a good deal of information that I did not have previously, which means I thank you for your truthful and honest compliance here. And I'm gonna hand her a couple of gold coins.
And she, again, looks down at it, bewildered, and just says, yeah, thank you.
Remember, I'm a private investigator.
I understand. My lips are sealed. Now, is there anything else? This whole thing has stressed my mother out a lot.
Actually, it's a long shot, but do you have any idea what they might have been looking for? an attempted robbery means that there is some sort of item that they're trying to acquire, yes?
I guess the only thing we have is the lockbox for our business. That's it, though. More specifically...
Well, I wouldn't doubt their... Oh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. More specifically, the person was trying to break in through my mother's window.
I see. Well, I don't doubt this coven's penchant for greed. I don't know that they would be exactly wanting to steal any trade secrets, unless the business that you run happens to be particularly out of the ordinary.
Selling flowers. We run a flower shop.
I lack the information to know whether or not that's important, but I'll keep it in mind for later. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good day, I guess?
You as well. And do take care around these parts, especially at nighttime, now that you know a bit more than those around you.
Yeah. She, kind of nods and, backs into her house and, like, closes the door. At around the same time as this, you and Lycel reconvene. And real quick, while you two are basically going over that, we are going to, two things. For one, hi, Minnow!
Hi.
Can't believe Minnow's fucking dead. I'm kidding. I heard you. But, we are actually going to go over to the other four of you. Xander, I'm pretty sure Groove heard this, but just in case. Xander and Emiko intended on going to the record keeping to turn in the quest and also look for more work. Would Vivian and Johnny be going with? Also, for clarification, Minna, we went into the next day, because both you and Groove weren't here, so I sent you all the stuff in DMs, and, yeah, new day, long rest, that stuff.
Yes, Vivian will go with.
Django has to go pick up his item from the Arcanist.
Yeah, for the sake of brevity, forgot the
And
word
then he'll
brevity.
go with.
Yeah. So anyone who, like, had a magical item be crafted, you've picked it up. Ouch.
So,
I have a mosquito bite, and I'm going to rip my skin off. So, Skymount Record Keeping is a pretty hefty walk from the Yawning Dragon. It takes you maybe about an hour to hoof it there, which I guess is not in the grand scale of the entire city. Not too terribly far from where you entered, but still, pretty long walk. And basically it looks like this very, tall building. The front door actually kind of looks like a gate that's being, held open by chains. Like, they open it and then, hook a chain through a loop and, to hold it open and keep it open. And there's people constantly walking in and out. There are some people riding on parasaurs or having triceratops pull their carts. But you see people, walking in and out. Some of them look like adventurers, like the four of you, and then some of them just look like common day, vendors and stuff like that. And on the inside, there's, really nice tile floors. I don't want to say dim lighting, but it's not super bright. It's very, calmer lighting. And there are basically, a bunch of desks with, little bars in front of them to separate the person at the desk from whoever they are speaking to. And all of them have, little, nameplates on them to tell you who you're speaking to. And at the moment, there aren't too many people in here, at least speaking to the representatives. And let me go find the guy's name. I put it in DM references, so that way I remembered it. And you are currently looking for Feindar Olorel. Sorry, I'm not gonna make y'all fucking RP talking to the fucking receptionist, okay? Because that would be annoying. Ow!
Love when Chas passes a kidney stone mid-sentence.
I am just... There's a lot of things that just happen to me that randomly cause me pain. And I just have to deal with it. But... Clicky. Per-clickety. So, at the desk that has the little nameplate for Olorel, just has the last name on it, you see that there is a man. He has not noticed any of you. He's just kind of like face deep in like a file folder going through, and he's like whispering to himself something. He has darkened skin that kind of has like a bluish grayish tint to it. He has pulled back black hair that has some like gray hairs through it. And he has like these very thin glasses that have like those glasses chains hanging from it. Even by elf standard, he looks a little older in years. And he's like whispering to himself like 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Last name.
Fucking head plaps in front of him.
Ah! Hello? Sorry, I was organizing. And he like closes the file folder and shoves it under his desk. How may I help you today?
Well, we killed this big beast here, and my friends and I were hoping we'd get paid for it.
He like adjusts his glasses and looks at the now rotting like Allosaurus head. And he
And Xander fucking gives him the whole spiel.
yeah. He kind of like nods and picks that file folder that he had just put away back out, and he looks through and he says, so... Oh yeah, you did take all the meat off of it. Oh yeah, because you guys took it to a tanner. I remember that now. That was so long ago. He plucks it up and he says, so you found... Oh yeah, because you got... Did you give him the, like, job that the people originally had? Yeah, he looks at it and goes, oh, so you found them deceased, okay? This is a very easy transaction to do then, though. Thank you for letting us know of their passing. I will take the records of them originally taking the job, and I will make sure that those get sent out to their families so that Skymount can, give the families... Okay. And he takes out, like, a quill and dips it in his ink and starts writing a few things down. And he goes, alright, and is this, payment just going out to the 4 of you?
Was this, you get paid based on how many people do the job sort of situation, or was it just, you get this amount of money and you fucking figure it out yourself?
Yeah, it was 60 gold pieces per person in the group.
Okay. Xander, so the more people we have, the more money we get. So Xander's gonna tell him, we have 10 people.
Make me a persuasion check.
I'm surprised you didn't go with deception there, but I'll take it. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing either way. Oh, Jesus. What the hell is a character sheet? 16, 22.
Yeah. Also, the word deception could not come to my brain, so I didn't say it because I literally couldn't remember the word. Yeah, he looks at you and then looks at how there's 4 of you and then, like, kind of thinks, oh, well, you know, And he goes, okay, so let me... Okay, and he... And he, like, writes a few things down, and he goes, sorry, I just have to make sure that I can transfer over the right of the job, just so that way it is all legally handled. And he writes a few more things down and then goes, all right. And he takes out, like, a coin purse and sets it on the counter and goes, all right. 600 gold pieces, being 60 per member of your group. If I could just have you sign here, sir, just to confirm that this has been a finished job.
Yep. Give him the signature.
Yeah, and he takes the paper back, puts it in that folder, and says, now, is there anything else I can help you with today?
Well, we certainly wouldn't mind taking on more work where that came from. I mean, not where that one came from, but, like, where that one came from.
And just so that way, just in case, did you mention to him at all how you knew who he was?
Nope, because I didn't remember.
That was part of your deal.
Is this the guy?
Yeah, this is the guy that the mayor, that Ezekiel told
Right.
you was who he knew. That's why I asked if you mentioned it.
I told him.
Yeah.
I tell him that we're friends with what was his name? Fleckhart, Ezekiel Fleckhart.
Yes.
Vivian pulls the pristine letter out of the bag.
The bag.
The
Yeah, and he reaches over the counter so that way you can more easily hand it to him, and he, like, looks at it and opens it. And he goes, one moment. He, like, takes a second to read it and goes, oh! You're friends of Ezekiel? Oh, I wish that you had said something. Okay. He like, folds the letter back up and very neatly puts it back into the envelope. And he says, well, since this is, just record keeping, most of what I deal with is, going back to my notes, because this is important, most of what I deal with is just Merchants Guild things. However, I can, since you're a friend of Ezekiel's, I know that you do good work, I can pull into some of the jobs that the knights leave with us, which would give you Class 2 access to their work. Normally you have to go through a bunch of loopholes in order to be able to access jobs posted by the knights, but if you've done work for Ezekiel, he actually sent me a letter about talking about the instance with his daughter. Was that your group?
That was us, the Silver Lining.
Oh, it took you a mighty long time to get here, I was wondering.
Oh yes, we were trapped in the Aether Spine for some time.
He adjusts his glasses and just goes, oh. Oh, well, that's none of my business. So, there is...
We saved them too, for the record. Xander gives him a wink.
Quite excellent. So, there's a few things, although I'm sure that you are not all interested in merchants' work, correct? Is that a fair assessment?
We are interested in the cleansing of evil from this world.
Ah, well, let me see what the knights have left with me recently, and he'll, like, lean down into his bag and again and pluck out 3 pieces of paper, and he'll set them on the counter and, like, push them towards you and say, take a look at these 3. These were actually brought to me this morning.
I would like to say I'm also personally interested in any job that involved the cult known as the Skinari.
Well, one of these might interest you then.
What are the
Yeah.
3 quests?
Yeah, so the first one says it describes that there is screaming coming from an old tower within the inner city, that there have been multiple groups of guards that have been sent in several times and they have come back empty-handed. It says that the pay is 100 gold pieces per person in the party. The second job says that it is from a man named Barclay Errolson. Says that there is he says that there is a strange hole within his basement and that it has a weird fog coming from it, and he also hears noises at night. And he wants whatever is down there to be rid of so he can continue renovations on his home. This one is 110 GP per person. And then the last one actually has a bit of a longer description, and it says, on Draco 4th, 2 individuals are leaving for license and they want to hire protection. These two individuals are by the name of Misha and Lev, and due to a Skinari attack recently, they have lost members of their family and want to bring their remains back home because they were travelers. They have very little money and resources right now due to this loss and having to pay for a bunch of things to do with their family members passing away, but they promise 150 GP per person before the trip and 200 GP per person when the trip is done.
We'll take all 3.
All 3?
Why, of course.
Of course.
All
Why
evil
not?
must be cleansed from this world.
We'll make a weekend out of it.
Indeed.
You know, Ezekiel described you all as ambitious in his letter. One moment. And he'll take out like a few stamps and like a setup for like a wax seal, and he will right? He pulls everything out and like adjusts it and folds it all up and then puts stamps on each of them and signs them and says, now, do keep in mind that for the first 2, there are multiple postings of these 2, so if someone else happens to get to it before you, that is just how it goes. However, the last one is, well, since that one's more of on a schedule and has to do with you meeting the 2 individuals, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who has a copy of this one.
How many days do we have before these travelers are leaving?
3.
Oh, great. So we have a perfect amount of time. Xander, kind of no longer paying attention to this guy, not trying to be rude, but, we officially have a timetable, says, right then, I vote we check out the tower first. Just because I really want to know what this screaming is.
Very well.
All
Shall
right.
I page Lycel and Jerry Elwood?
Absolutely. Get the whole team together. Well, sir, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. Like I said, we are now on a time schedule, so thank you. And hopefully we will meet again. And Xander fucking leaves. He's out.
Yeah, Johnny will follow, and we'll use a sending coin to Gelwood to fill him in and tell him to meet us at the tower.
Yeah, and it does tell you the location of everything. In fact, it even tells you the inn that Misha and Lev are staying in as well.
Cool. We'll meet them for mojitos after whatever's in this tower beats the hell out of them.
Not mojitos!
Mojito.
Mojito.
Kind of more of a no-hito then.
Tequila!
Anyway.
That video lives right in my head. To the tower! So. Okay. Sorry. I was not trying to be rushed.
Let's go fight Saruman.
What the fuck? No. God, that was really funny. 14 sessions later, we'll leave Skymount. Again, didn't mean to be annoyingly rushful through all of that. I was just like, I want to do the cool stuff today.
No, honestly, thank you. I was kind of over it. I'm not gonna lie.
And when you all meet up, it is maybe exactly noon in the day, so definitely still early. And
Quick order of business, actually, because I just remembered. Lycel got the piece of parchment with that sigil in it. Remembered Ada saying something about it being a cult. Did they get more details than that, or can any of us help with that?
Yeah, I'm guessing
that could be relevant. If they're breaking into houses and they're screaming from a tower, I don't feel like that's a coincidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Lycel, when you all regroup, do you bring this to the party's attention?
Yeah, I would say that's probably the first thing that they bring up. They show everyone the symbol, as we'll explain to them how they knew about it.
Yeah. Anyone who wants to, make me your choice of, history. Make me a history check.
Is it at all feasible that Xander would have heard of this, given his extra-dimensional nature?
You said that when you were living on the material plane... Was when Xander lived on the material plane within the last 15 years?
How old is this motherfucker? I don't even remember. I want to say I made him like 25, so no.
Yeah. So, then no. If you had been within the material world
Cool,
within the last
I'm going
15
to cast Guidance on Johnny if he doesn't already have it.
I do have a follow-up question. Is this at all related to me, or is this a completely separate thing that we just happened to fucking find?
Without being weird, you're gonna want to make the check.
Okay.
I don't know, it's pretty weird.
You said history, or what was the other one? Religion?
Just a history check.
Okay.
Okay. We got a 24, a 17, actually that's a 25, and an 18. Okay, so Johnny, Vivian, and Jay, you all do recognize this symbol, although for, different reasons. Jay, you... Although not the exact same symbol, but you can tell something that was definitely a variation of it. When your mother was attacked, this symbol was like... The best way I can say it is like bruised into her skin.
Oh, so they wrote that shit on the inside.
Yeah. And
That's fucked up.
And it did look a little different. It didn't have as many of the lines like slashing through it. But it was like an upwards infinity symbol with like the 2 dashes, and there were like lines around and through it. Just not the exact same, which is why I didn't recognize it like immediately. But thinking about it, that is what reminded you of it. And then for Vivian, Madame Pendle told you about this. She told you about the way she said it was ruffians, in Viron were not starting an uprising, because it was very low-key, but when you're someone as powerful as her, you just see some shit sometimes that maybe hasn't gone out all the way yet. But this is the symbol of a uprising, I guess the best way would be to put it, coven. And Johnny, similarly, you have read about this and, looking into the great evils of the world. But again, this is a more low-key thing. There's not much information known to the public about them because they're, haven't been around for that long. Only shown up in the last, 2 decades.
Fuck yeah.
So I was taking a long sip of coffee. Oh.
Alright, sick. So we'll keep an eye out for any more blood cult symbols. Let's head to the fucking tower.
Sorry,
I think Lycel would also give that glass that they picked up previously to Johnny or whoever it was they had seen cast locate object. I found this inside one of the broken homes and thought perhaps maybe some of the glass might have gotten caught on the intruder. Although it was a pretty neat break-in, so it's hard to say.
Also, I just gotta say, Dakota, that is such a cool use of that I had never thought of. Sorry, I just need to get that out there.
What use of what?
Like someone breaking into a window and like the possibility of them having like a piece of that window on their clothing or like stuck in them from getting injured by it and using locate object to find the glass shards of that window. And if one of them is like far as fuck away in a complete opposite direction, you're like, oh, maybe the asshole that did it is over that way. Like, that's a cool use of that.
I was inspired by our previous use of it for finding those letters.
I shall investigate tonight. Thank you, Lycel.
Honestly, if you had been there, it would have been a little bit easier. You should have seen the place. It was a right mess.
Perhaps we may return.
Well, the way I see it, we'll probably have a situation sorted in an afternoon, and then tomorrow we'll take care of the one guy's basement. So, gives us a whole probably 12 hours to take care of it.
The tower. It calls my name.
Just don't start stabbing it.
Oh, Emiko probably would have given everyone a chain, by the way.
Yeah, I think Lycel is going to look over the chain that Emiko just gave them and kind of look back at them. Well, this is nice, I think. Well, what is it?
Oh, it will help us all keep in contact with each other. It's a style for my home, and I figured it was kind of a nice little pun, you know, the silver lining, silver chain, you know.
I like it a lot.
That's quite clever.
Oh, speaking of gifts, by the way, and Xander is going to give Emiko the brass knuckles of shimmering.
What are these?
Well, first of all, they're meant to be kind of stylish. And second of all, if you punch something invisible while you're wearing them, it'll make it glow, and then that way we'll be able to see it easier.
I think she's gonna slide them on, and then kind of do like air punches, like a few air punches. And then I think she's going to turn to Johnny to punch him to see how the glowing thing works.
Why would you do that to me?
It won't be hard.
Okay, roll an attack.
I want Emiko to crit.
Oh, it's already a crit. Homie's sleepwalking.
Oh no!
Wait, so it's automatic crit?
Yeah, because he's unconscious.
Oh.
If you hit, right?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Why not punch it like a wall?
Because I'm assuming it has to be a creature to glow.
It does not, but this is funny.
Don't hurt me.
Okay. Does a 16 hit?
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
You
hold on.
punch
Let me add
Johnny
my
and he
modifiers
auto-dodges
yet.
and fucking spits in your face.
Hold on, I have to add my modifiers.
Oh, it's probably good.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22?
Yeah, that is.
Okay.
Are you gonna choose to do minimum damage?
You can't choose to do minimum damage. You can't do that. It's not in the rules.
Is it not?
No.
The rules.
Oh,
So you said it's an automatic crit?
Yeah.
oh my god.
Oh, 13, 14,
30
15.
damage.
15 damage.
That's so much.
Ow. Why would you do that?
Is he glowing? Does he have to make a save?
Nope, it just casts light on anything you hit.
Nope. I made you glow.
Yeah. And you broke my tooth.
Sorry, I didn't.
Can you not do that, please?
It's okay. We can give you some of the good berries we have, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll have to eat our good berries. And begin devouring. One of my boundaries, Vivian, one of my boundaries is no punching me.
I'm sorry. You do not respect other people's boundaries.
I don't forgive you.
I wasn't apologizing.
Lady Emiko,
Yeah.
you should probably apologize.
Why?
You punched him very hard.
It wasn't that hard.
Okay.
I don't know. It looked like it was pretty hard to me.
Xander places a hand on Emiko's shoulder and says, "You know, I know we've been fighting a lot of things that are kind of powerful, so to put that in context, I'm pretty sure that would have killed about 7 common men."
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh. I'm sorry.
that's good.
Give me some money, and I may forgive you. I think it's only fair. 15 gold pieces for 15 teeth that you knocked out.
What is this inscription? We're measuring damage in teeth now?
What I like is that means that every commoner has 4 teeth.
I mean,
And
you
then-
know,
A level 20 barbarian has 200 teeth.
I kind of feel like that commoners probably don't have the best dental plan, so...
Sure. Vivian hands Emiko 15 gold to hand to Johnny.
She'll look at it and then hand it to Johnny with also 15 gold of herself.
Johnny will pass 15 gold to Vivian for the party gold fund.
Great.
And he's going to keep the other
That's very
15.
generous.
And then he's going to look at it and say, Emiko, I'd like to make amends between us. This party needs to be unified. And because of that, I'm forgiving you for punching 15 of my teeth out. And I'm returning your 15 gold.
It's been a very confusing 45 seconds.
Chad, I don't know if you heard or not when we were on our little break. Would Lycel have had a chance to take a little cheeky little short rest to get those souls back in between the time that they departed to investigate the houses and the time the party departed for the tower?
Probably not, but you can also just take a long rest before you go investigate the tower.
Oh, is this in the following day from when we were looking at the houses?
No, this is within the same day.
Why'd you say long rest?
Did I say? I meant short rest.
That.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm really frazzled. I keep having to stand up to tell my cats to stop bullying me.
I really like that. You could ask, hey, can I have a short rest? And you said no, but you can have a short rest.
No, what I mean, no, because, I thought that you were implying, between the time of them doing, investigating the houses and y'all meeting up to go do the tower, if there was a time where, they would have stopped. And I was like, not really, but you guys can just choose to take a short rest before you go to the tower. Because since the area y'all went to was, an hour.
It's fine. We'll make 20 more good berries and then we'll go.
Alright, so, you guys take a second before you head out to take a quick short rest, and you look at the little job paper that tells you where it is, And on your way there, I would like everybody real quick to make me perception checks.
Perception! Gosh, shit. Here we go again. That's my buddy.
11. 24, I think. Twenty-four, 18, 24. That's a lot of 24s. Everyone except for Gelwood, really. As you're walking along, you spot something relatively important. You actually see that on your way there, and it's like another hour walk just to get there. Again, the city's really big, but all the jobs are kind of centered to like this quadrant of it, I guess I'll call it. And you currently it isn't open today, but you all spot that there is a shop labeled as Mama V's. You by all means don't have to stop, but it is important that you do see it on your way there. And there's like a sign in the door that says like, you know, sorry, closed for the day. We'll be open again tomorrow. With like a little weirdly drawn heart.
Let's come back tomorrow.
And essentially, you make your way there, and I don't want to say that this part of the city is empty, because it is a very big city, but you notice that there is like a lack of traffic through this area, like once you get to a certain point. And you find this tower that's described, and obviously there's no pictures or anything, but it is a kind of wide, very tall tower, about like maybe 6-ish stories, and it's painted with a lot of like weird colors, and there is murals all over it that look like they are bleached with exposure to the sun and faded over time, like nobody has been upkeeping it. And there is what looks to be the remnants of like a artistic display of hedges outside that lead along a pathway of colored stones. Again, you can tell at one point that the colors here were very bright, with very intricate patterns on them, but they have faded with time and age. And you see that this tower, there's a faded sign semi near the path that leads into it. There's like black paint over one part of it, but then underneath it, it says that this used to be an art museum. But it is completely abandoned. There's boards in the windows. There's boards over where, like, the door used to be, that you can tell the wood is new from, like, when the guards, probably, that they said in the paper have gone in and then come back out and went, well, there's nothing fucking in there, so they reboarded it back up. But, like, all of the hedges and stuff are dead and overgrown. You can't really tell what shapes that they were trying to be before. You know, you can't tell if it's like, are they supposed to be in the shape of animals or people or maybe just cool shapes? Like, it is hard to tell because it is all dead and misshapen.
Say the entrance was boarded up. Did I catch that?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna go up to the front door, and is there like a keyhole I can look through or anything like that?
Yes, there is. It is a set of double doors, and the boards don't, like, completely cover it. It's just, like, there's, like, 5 of them that are kind of, like, spaced out. But you can look through the keyhole that's on, like, the center part of the double doors.
Do I see anything cool?
When you peek through, you do see a very decorated interior. The only way that this room is lit up is from the light coming through the wooden panels on the windows. So you just see like little beams of light scattered throughout. But you can tell that the inside of the room is very elegantly decorated, although once again, very, very old looking. Like, any paint is worn. You see that there is a bit of, like, furniture, quote-unquote, but it has, like, sheets over it, layered in dust.
Cool. And I'm assuming the boards would keep us from actually entering, right? So, I'm gonna have Gelwood remove the boards so we can actually go inside. I'm going to look through the keyhole, summon my mage hand on the other side, unlock the door, and open it from the inside.
Yeah, real
I have
quick,
a crowbar.
Jay, what's your strength score?
20.
I'm not gonna make you roll for it.
21, actually.
Yeah, especially since, like, you also aren't trying to do this while being hush-hush about it because you are allowed to enter the building. But you use your crowbar, pry all the boards off, and Xander, you open the door. And upon entry, again, the only light in here is just whatever sunlight fills in through the cracks in the boarded up windows. And now that you have a slightly better view, though, instead of looking at it through a keyhole, you can make out that, like, this area appears to be, like, just like a little front lobby introduction. The tower, just to tell you its dimensions, is 60 by 60 feet in, like, a circle. And at the very, very back, so parallel with the front door, there's a, I almost just sent my dice flying everywhere! Okay, sorry. There is, at the very, very, very back of this room, a spiraling staircase that goes upwards. But in this area, there's, like, a desk. There's some things that are kind of, like, cubic or rectangular in shape that have sheets over them. There's old paintings on the wall that are kind of worn with age. The mural on the wall has, like, what looks to be, like, a man standing holding, like, a paintbrush and a palette, but his face is completely smeared in black paint entirely. So there's no, like, features. It just looks like a bunch of scribbles. And that paint, too, looks very, very old.
Cool. I'm going to cast Detect Magic from the hat.
Yeah, and, you do sense it's very, very faint, though. Just the tiniest, tiniest, tiniest bit of necromancy.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Obviously, we are not using the system that you have created for this world.
Mm-hmm.
Would I, using Detect Magic, be able to see the origin of the magic being used?
I don't see why not, if you want me to include the origin.
I think it could be rather helpful.
The origin... Well, now I gotta go pull it up. It's not hard to pull it up, but I have to. Let me me see. Okay, infernal.
Interesting. So it's necromantic magic that is infernal in origin. Which doesn't mean that the thing that cast it is an infernal, just that they had access to the magic of infernals.
Mm-hmm.
Just to clarify for the audience. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to point this out to Johnny, see if he can identify it.
Johnny, intrigued by this, will certainly try. He'll ritual cast detect magic. Waking up.
More so just meant the identify spell, but that works too.
Is there an item that is faintly necromantic?
No. This is a magic that kind of encompasses an area rather than, like, a specific thing.
Right, but you still be able to identify it because it affects the tower itself, yeah?
Yes.
Identify. Oh, just as I can, sure. Yeah, okay. Identify. I learn its properties, how to use them, attunement charges, any spells affecting it, and the spell that created it, if a spell created it.
So, you learn a few things, and at first, when you get this information, at first it's a little bit confusing, but then it starts to make sense to you. This tower has I'll call it a charm on it, that prevents those who have died from passing on. No matter what they do, like even if they pray to a god or whatever, if they die within these walls, they are stuck here. And you realize that the charm, not fully, but partially has something to do with these murals on the walls. The paint that they were painted with is infused with this magic. It's also just in the tower itself.
Could this magic be classified as a curse? And if so, would remove curse have any effect?
It is not a curse.
Johnny goes up to the painting of the man, his face blacked out, and he softly puts a hand on it. He stares deeply into the pigment. It unsettles him. There is a great evil lining these walls, one that prevents evil from being digested and good from passing on. Our presence is sorely needed here. And with that, we will begin ascending the staircase.
Jelwood, before we head up, could we get a divine sense?
Absolutely.
That's the consecrated or desecrated thing, right?
Consecrated, desecrated also detects celestials,
fiends, and undead within 60 feet, as long as it's not behind total cover.
Okay. So, yeah, the desecration. Oh, I've been waiting to get to do this part. I've done it before. The desecration here is very, very pungent, but in a very weird way. You use divine sense, in the Platinum Order dungeon that we did so long ago.
Yeah.
And I believe I described it to you as profane, but a really nasty scent to you. I kind of like describing divine sense with like sensory descriptions. And that one was really rotten, really nasty, really profane. Excuse me, burp. However, you use this and it's sickly sweet. Like a box of chocolates left out for too long. It's definitely desecrated, but in this bittersweet, melancholic, kind of nasty way, where it tastes like Like, you can feel the taste of fermented sugar in your mouth and smell old wilted flowers that still leave an aroma in the air, but are definitely dead.
This place feels like it should have fruit flies trying to harbor every inch of it. Disgusting.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Going up the staircase now.
Well, one more thing. Before we go up the staircase, can we just take a quick look around and see if there's any other, like, secret, hidden way to go here?
Yeah, whoever wants to, make me an investigation check.
I'm going to give guidance to Johnny. Since he is our go-to investigator.
Investigator?
Huh. 10.
Dang. You look around, and honestly, this room is very, I don't want to say bare, but there isn't much to it, because this looks like it's sort of like an entry area, you know? You don't find anything, not anything that, like, what's up?
Really quick, Johnny's gonna look behind the painting of the guy with the black face.
So that is, that's like part of the wall. It's painted into
okay, got it.
Yeah. Although there are a few hanging paintings. You look behind those and you don't find much, but on one of them you do find like a slip of paper with writing on it.
Well, yeah, Johnny, always the obsessive. Looking over every inch of these vile paintings, we'll take the slip of paper and take a look at it.
It says, and this looks very, very old. The ink looks kind of washed out, but is still pressed firmly enough into the paper where it remains its shape, and all it says is, "Help me." But the paper is so old that it is yellowed with age.
Does this work, the ink that Johnny just obsessed over, paint, does it resemble the writing of this paper in any way?
It does not. This appears to be normal ink.
Intriguing.
Normal ink on normal
Johnny will
parchment.
illuminate this to Vivian.
As he's doing so, does detect magic ping on the paper at all?
It does not.
Okay.
What could this mean, Mistress Deshays?
The ink that you just checked, was that the ink of the writing on like the paper, or was it the painting?
The paper.
The paper?
Yeah.
Okay. Gonna go over to the wall and I'm gonna scrape off some of the paint from the painting itself. I'm going to collect it in a jar and hold it for later. Does it seem strange at all, or is it also just regular paint?
Make me an Arcana check.
It's lead-based.
She huffs it.
No.
No!
Oh god, that's there. All right, 40 years.
Bad. That's a 9.
You...
Would I be able to help Vivian, since I have Detect Magic up and also Proficiency?
Yeah, you can go ahead and make that with advantage.
Worse.
Worse, okay.
No! Fuck.
Yeah, you're looking it over, and it just looks like very old oil paint to you, which is why you can so easily scrape it off, because oil paint is chunky.
Okay. Yeah, she'll hold on to it for later.
And to be clear, that ink is not showing up on Detect Magic?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess we're going up the stairs.
Robes. Going
Do
up
we
the
want to
stairs.
send Jay first, then everybody else following him?
Actually, yeah. I'll my familiar go up a little above Jay. Since we're going up a spiral staircase. Just see
Cool.
if anything
It's
creepy waiting
dark
for
in
us.
here. it's dark in here. Do we want to get a light source going, or or anything like that, or?
We're fine.
Okay, sick.
If we need to make a perception check, we can light one up.
Yeah. And
I do have blind sight. I don't know if it's going to come up, but I have blind sight out to 10 feet, so if anything is trying to sneak up on me or my friends at the sides, then I will be able to sniff it out.
Excellent. And you have 120 feet of dark vision from the dagger, too.
Oh yeah, just from having that shit.
Yep. So, you guys are going up the staircase, and Johnny's familiar is going first, then Gelwood?
Yep.
That's what it sounds
Okay.
like to me.
Okay. Was just confirming. As you start to make your way up this staircase, it's a very tight staircase, so, shoulder to shoulder would be squeezing in, but as you head up, you can see barely, you can make out shapes on the walls, and they are also like paintings of murals. It's almost like every square inch almost of these walls are painted with some variety of art. And it all looks pleasant, it's very pretty, but there's something off about it, something uncanny about it.
Could I, just as a quick thing, cast Druidcraft to make, like, the visage of, like, firefly lights? To give us just the tiniest bit of dim light illumination so we can, like, determine color on these paintings, if it's relevant?
Yeah, it'll be enough to determine the colors and stuff like that. Yeah, so, I don't know this about any of your characters, so you all can say this or not. Do any of your characters like art, as in they like viewing art? Maybe they draw or paint, or...
It depends on the kind of art. Gelwood is like super into large, extravagant tapestries.
Alright, and then, like, Vivian, you sketch in your free time, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So with some of this, like, background, for those of your characters that are more artistically inclined, there is just something about...
Artistically inclined?
I said
Artistically.
artistic. Although, I don't know if any of y'all's characters are autistic. I'm autistically inclined towards art.
Autistic neutral is not a rating.
It is for me! I'm kidding. So, there is, something about the art, and, maybe it's the use of color, how all of the colors, if portraying something that is real, are always, like, slightly off, and it seems intentional that it is purposefully not the realistic colors, or some of the proportions are just too long, and all of the smiles don't look like real smiles, like someone is conveying a fake pained smile through a painting that normally requires the, human eye-to-eye experience to, detect that, because usually that's more than just someone's facial expression. It's their body language, it's the way that they're talking, but you feel these emotions through these paintings by just kind of looking at them. And there's also, despite the fact that the things depicted are either beautiful or even happy, there's something sad about looking at them that makes one feel hurt. Not like physical pain, but sadness. It is, so uncanny that it almost reaches a point of being very creepy. And nothing happens as you make your way to the second floor, but the second floor has much more room, because the walls are just not perfectly circular, but the room is very open, and you see that this is the area of the first exhibit. It is much darker in here. in this area there's less windows on this floor than there were on the first one, and so any light peeking through kind of only illuminates the direct area where it peeks through the window. It is dark in here.
Well, before we go lighting up any light sources, since all of us have dark vision, I believe, what do we see?
Oh, real quick. How long does Divine Sense last?
6 seconds.
Okay, I was just making sure. I didn't know if it was like an activated thing where it's like, okay, 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, it's just until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
It's like a sonar. It just pings out.
Okay, thank you. So in this room, the murals continue, but they kind of change theme. And this room has some of the shapes are covered in linen, like downstairs, but there's a few statues in here. They are on marble pedestals, and there are varying degrees of theme here. Some of them are of people, some of them just look like random collections of shapes. One of them looks like liquid being poured from an unknown source, kind of solidified in one place, and that's the statues. It looks like the spraying of liquid. And everything else is covered up. There is a statue off to the side, off to the left of the staircase, that depicts a elven woman who has her the back of her hand pressed to her forehead in like that vain, like dramatic, kind of pose, dramatically leaning backwards and to the side. And similarly to the murals on the walls, there is something about this sculpture that is very evocative of, just unease. And there are, on the statue, coming from her eyes, there is, literally this clear, crystal added to the sculpture that makes it look like tears. That's been polished so that way it's kind of see-through and shiny.
Use Mage Hand real quick to take the coverings off of the statue.
Yeah. So in total, yeah, sorry, that's why I was silent for a second. I turned it down. So, in total, there are about 8 statues in here. The few I described to you are the ones that are uncovered. So that's 3 total. And the rest of them all appear to be quote-unquote normal statues. All of them are of people, though. It looks like the plaques that once would have said what these pieces are, who they were by, have all been taken off. You can even see the chips in the marble of where someone would have dink 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 put the plaque in, but all of them have been taken off. And I would like la-di-da-di everybody to make me a perception check. However, this is to hear something.
Vivian. Is there arcana within this world that could seal the soul of an individual within an item?
Maybe? Wait, what? Are you asking me if I know the level 6 spell Soul Snare or whatever it's called?
Would it be possible to put somebody's soul into, a painting, for instance?
Yeah,
is what Johnny's asking.
I assume that I've read stories about such things. And I've heard, tales of people being, their souls trapped in objects.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that it's a common occurrence, but, especially in, storybooks, not children's storybooks, but, works of fiction, it's something used a lot, because it's really happened. And, I mean, it's quote-unquote so common that it is a law in Kelmra that you can't do that.
Yeah, I will relay that back.
Okay, so we got a 9, well, a 10, a 22, 15, a 20. No, that's 5. So, Xander, Emiko, Lycel, and Vivian, as you're all talking, you're trying to work something out, you feel a cold draft up your spines, and you hear a very high-pitched noise that you almost don't notice until maybe you decide to be quiet for a second enough to hear it. And it sounds like a very high-pitched wheeze. And not from the statues, but from other, like, creeping corners of the room. You see the silhouettes of humanoid individuals. I would like all of you to roll me initiative.
Hell yeah. About time.
Oh, baby.
You know, good rule of thumb. Anytime you're somewhere mysterious and you see statues, there's going to be a fight. We have Goa.
What?
Yes.
Oh, gift of alacrity.
I thought so. I just wanted to make absolutely sure.
I was
Okay,
like, I
so
know
that
this. No, I don't. Alright, so first up is Johnny. And Johnny, do you have dark vision?
Of course. 60 feet.
I was just making sure.
No, 30 feet. Wait.
Alright, so you see two.
No, 60.
Yeah, so the closest individual to you is about 10 feet away, coming out from behind a statue, and what you see is it almost looks like a reflection of light taking a humanoid shape with no features on their face, but you do see like a elegant, nice dress, like something that someone would go out for a day in, and long hair down to its waist, and you see it like come out from behind the shadow, holding like, you know those paint scrapers that artists use when they work with oil paint? Some like Bob Ross shit that he uses to make the fucking mountains, and he's like, oh, you just scrape it right here and it makes a mountain.
No, how could I forget?
I don't know what the fuck it's called, so I said scraper.
Oh, fair enough.
Holding one of those, and you hear a voice coming from it like, I'm so cold. Must get out.
Do I sense evil coming from these creatures?
Not evil, but desperate aggression. Like, they are hostile towards you, but it's not like, I'm going to eat your soul out your nose type shit.
No, it's all right. Like, we know anything hostile towards Johnny is evil. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, good enough for me.
Crochets in hell.
How many of these people could I get in a 20-foot cube? How many of these quote-unquote people?
With how they're spread out, you can get 2 of them. The one that I said is closest to you, and one that's like along that same part of the wall, but a little further back, a little further from you.
Okay, how many of them could I get in a 30-foot cone?
3 of them. Sorry, I was looking at my thing.
Excellent. I have 3 of them make me a con save. DC 17.
Okay. Let me take all of these die out here. Okay. Only one of them succeeds with a 17 exactly.
Okay. Succeeders will take 5 damage. Failures take 11 cold damage. Failures are restricted to a move speed of 0 until another creature uses an action to free them. Bonus action, have the Succeeder make me a DC 13 strength saving throw.
Seven.
Phils takes 3 bludgeoning damage from the decanter of endless water, falls prone. Johnny Bat flies up and away. Johnny's gonna Kadoobie back down the staircase, or back up away from these people, and end his turn.
I don't know what effect that has on ghosts, so I'm just gonna assume that it can't move.
It's not specifically like a condition, it just restricts their movement. So there's really,
Okay.
unless their movement cannot be restricted by any means, then they are subjected to it.
Okay. I wasn't like, me, they ghosts are not affected. I was just like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, sure you weren't.
I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Okay. So, the next up is this bitch that did succeed on all that. What is your movement speed? So another one of these individuals that looks like a literal like reflection of light that is going over like a form. This one is like wearing like a now disheveled like 3-piece suit that you can barely make out. This one will approach Gelwood. I am really quick though, so that way I'm not being a dick. There we go. I just realized I could make this a lot easier.
You said one was heading towards Gelwood?
Yes,
Huh?
Huh?
Alright, I'm gonna make an attack against Gelwood.
An attack? Interesting.
Yeah, except I got a natural 1. So he just runs up and he like grabs you by the shoulders, Jay, and you feel like this is something meant to harm you, but like the actions don't convey this. Because he looks like he grabs you by the shoulders and shakes you going, please! Help me, please! But you feel like, you know, this creature attempted to hurt you.
I think he's gonna like vomit bees on you or something.
Jay's gonna like turn his head slowly, the helmet creaking. His eyes squint his glowing red eyes at him.
But that'll be all for that one's turn. Xander, it is your turn.
Yeah. Xander is going to raise a hand towards the thing that just attacked Jay and says, sorry, only one help for you now, Eldritch Blast.
No.
First is a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Second is a 26 to hit.
Those both hit.
And that is going to be... Oh, fuck. Where is my... Fuck it. I'll use this one. That's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 points of damage between magical force and magical bludgeoning. I'm also going to knock him back 10, 20, 25 feet.
Alright, that one is flickering in and out of existence, but it is still up. Anything else for your turn, Xander?
Bonus action, Xander is going to surge with energy as a just large collection of sand comes out of the signet ring and then forms under him as a dust devil begins to form beneath him, and he's just like standing on top of it. Use my bonus action to gain a 30-foot fly speed. And I'm going to hover about 3 feet off the ground. Nothing substantial, just in case.
So you're still within like the same like 5-foot space, you're just off the ground a little bit?
I'm effectively levitating right now.
Okay.
And that'll be the end of my turn.
Alright. Alright. This one is going to... Yeah. Float over here to Emiko. Oh, shit. Okay,
And fucking drop kick her in the face.
Yeah, it's actually gonna fucking drop kick her fucking to Kingdom Come. No, I'm kidding. Can't really do that. Alright.
To Kingdom what?
And gonna check something for this. Nope. Alright. So then, similarly, it's going to look like it's like, oh, please get us out, help us, but it, you know, is obviously trying to harm you. Gonna make an attack against Emiko. Okay. That is a 23 to hit.
Yep.
Right. Ugh. Oh, ooh, those are some good rolls. So you are going to take 14 points of necrotic damage as this creature
14?
comes up. Yeah, 14. As this creature comes up and, like, you know, starts gripping at your sleeves, like, just uncontrollably sobbing, not even really saying words, just grabbing at your sleeves, and you feel this energy pour from it into you, and it hurts horribly, and it's very, very cold. You also see, like, its body, like, glow for a second, but whatever it was trying to do, it couldn't. That'll be the end of that one's turn. This one is stuck. I don't think it has anything it can do at a range, but I'll check. No, it cannot. Cool. Makes my life easier. Jay, it is your turn.
Okay, let's see, 5, 10. Oh, shit, yeah, I got tons of space. So 10 feet move to get to Emiko. A warding bond. And then I'm going to provoke an attack by moving back another 15, 20, 25, 30 feet to get up to here. And ideally try to stop these two from approaching the rest of the party.
Yeah, the ghosty goo is gonna smack you.
Cool.
I don't. I'm guessing a 20 not nat doesn't hit though, right?
It does not.
Alrighty. Anything else for your turn?
Let me look at this dagger again real quick. Okay, it's just a... Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's it.
Alright. Emiko, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm going to attack the one right in front of me.
Cool.
Does a 23 hit?
A 23 definitely hits.
Okay, do I have to separate any slashing thunder or acid damage?
Yeah, give all your damage to me separately.
Okay, so it's going to be 11 magical slashing, it's going to be 4 thunder damage, and 6 acid damage.
How much was this acid damage one more time? I'm so sorry.
6.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, alrighty. Yeah, you smack into them and they just, like, literally yelp out like a person being mercilessly attacked even though, like, that thing just fucking hit you. Like, oh, no!
Smack again for 21 to hit.
Definitely hits.
Okay, 7 slashing, 2 thunder, and 3 acid.
Alright. Damage is
And
noted.
then for my bonus, I was going to use do an attack, but I missed. So that's it for my turn.
Just in case, was it like a natural 1?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
not. It wasn't a natural 1, but it was really low. It was like I think like 6 or something.
Okay, I was making sure, because these things don't have a very high AC, because they're just ghosts, so I was just checking, you know?
Yeah.
Alright. Anything else for your turn?
No, that's it.
Alright, Lycel, it is your turn.
Does a 9 hit?
9 will not hit.
Okay, so Lycel's gonna move up to help Jay with what he's working on. But the whole situation is very disconcerting to her with these ethereal specters very clearly not wanting to do any of this, as I rolled 2 natural 3s and a natural 2 for a total of 9 and 8.
No!
Whoa.
If I hadn't already burned through half of my souls, I'd add on some soul die, but man,
I thought you got souls back on a short rest.
yep, my rolls have not been kind.
Alright. Anything else for you?
That was my action and both my attacks and my bonus action and my movement set up.
Fucking Mick, ouch. Okay. That is this one. So we cannot go anywhere. Don't think this thing can do anything at a range. These are a little different. I guess I could do this. Not that it's going anywhere. Hey! Good for you, bud. Okay. Vivian, it is your turn.
Great. So at least 2 of these have already taken damage, correct?
Yeah. The
Is
only
it
one
Live and
that
Ghost 3? Sorry, go ahead.
the only thing in this room that hasn't taken any damage is this little guy back here.
Oh man. Look at him dancing. He's having a great time. Yeah, let's Ghost 5 is the most heavily damaged.
The most heavily damaged would be this one or this one.
Oh,
so
sure.
3 and 4.
Great, we'll help out.
Flickering out.
We'll help out Emiko. So she is first going to cast Guiding Bolt. That is, I assume, going to hit with a 25. It's going to take 16 points of radiant damage. It's still up.
No, that one is dead. Well, re-dead. You see it scream and like put its hands and like drag them down its featureless face, just screaming before it puffs into a cloud of smoke.
Right. So then she's going to look over at ghost number 4 and she's going to think to herself, okay, remember your training? What is it that every ghost is terrified of? And she says, that's right, it's a shark. And she summons a shark. And then she is going to shoot a bolt of radiant energy from that shark, holding it like a gun. And that is a 17 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Great. I'm going to take 13 points of radiant damage on ghost number 4.
And this one is also, it starts screaming and it takes the thing that it has in its hand, because this is the guy in like the suit, and starts bashing it into the featureless face while screaming, and then puffs into a cloud of smoke.
Great. Does it seem like the radiant damage does anything extra to them, or just a regular amount?
Does a regular amount, so that it isn't reduced in any way.
Great. Yeah, she is going to hide behind Xander and end her turn.
Alright. This one is going to floaty up to Xander and make an attack. I'm actually gonna... No. Okay. That is a 24 to hit.
Definitely hits.
Yeah. Same thing. It like grips at your jacket, just like, please, please, please. But then you feel a tingling down the front of your chest that is excruciatingly painful, and you take stop it. You take 15 points of necrotic damage.
15 points is noted.
Alrighty, we are back at the top of the round. Johnny.
I would like for you to have the one that is directly next to Xander make me an intelligence saving throw. DC 17.
Alright, so this is a flat roll. I got a 14.
14 fails like an idiot. He is going to take 2d6 psychic damage. He will have a penalty to his next saving throw, a 6 psychic, and a -3 penalty to his next saving throw.
Alright.
Bonus action. Have the same one make me a strength saving throw. Well, hold on. Is anybody planning to hit this one with a save effect?
Ow.
I wasn't planning on it.
Okay. Yeah, have that one make me a strength saving throw. It's a -3 to the roll.
2.
Fails. Takes 1 bludgeoning damage. Falls prone if able. Johnny ends his turn.
Damage. Alright, Xander, it is your turn.
So this one's like basically right on top of me, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, parallel, like right in front of you.
Xander is going to place both of his hands on the ghost's shoulders, and he's going to say, "I'm sorry, friend. It's the only way out for you." And I'm gonna once again hit him with Eldritch Blast, rolling at disadvantage due to CQC. That is a 16 to hit on the first beam.
That hits.
That would have been a natural 20 for the... Oh my god, that's a double natural 20. Okay, well I guess it's a fucking natural 20 on disadvantage.
Yeah, yeet.
Holy shit. Okay.
Xander really doesn't want this ghost touching him.
Really don't like it, yeah. So that'll be 14, 18, 22, 26, 27, 28, 29. Yeah, 29 points of damage between force and bludgeoning. And I'm going to knock him back 10, 20, 25 feet.
Alrighty, anything else for your turn?
I do not believe I have anything I can do as a bonus action, so I will end my turn.
Alright. This one can't move. Jay, it is your turn.
Alright, this is gonna sound like a weird question because it is. These ghosts don't seem possessed, do they?
What do you mean?
Like, do they seem like they are being compelled to stay? Or is it simply because of some other thing that they are bound here? Because they very clearly don't want to be here.
Make me an insight check.
I can do that. Christ, it writes itself. Natural 20?
Yeah, so you're kind of looking around because you're seeing the body language and the erratic behavior. You get the feeling that they don't want to be here. They can't leave. You think the hostility is not that they're possessed or magically forced to do so. It's that the inability for these souls to pass on has basically made them erratic. They're nuts.
And I'm guessing that the reason that they can't pass on is because this place is desecrated.
Well, it's because it was something that was found out earlier in this. Well, it's a dungeon. I'm just gonna call it a dungeon. Is that there is a charm on this building that when someone dies here, they can't leave.
That's right. Okay.
So you get the inference that they have been trapped here for a long time, and it's driving them nuts. Because these are all they're like dressed in like, fun outing clothes.
Right. The reason for the question is that due to their circumstance, if I were to use a protection from evil spell on them, would that do anything? Would that relieve them of the charm? But if it's not a possession effect, then it would not do anything.
Yeah, they are not possessed. They are just erratic.
Then I guess we gotta do this the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna grab Akios' heart, and I'm gonna take 2 stabs at Ghost Numero 5 in front of me.
Alright.
21 and a 15 to hit.
Those both hit.
For a combined total of 22 points of radiant damage. 11 and 11.
Yeah, and that's actually enough to take this one out after all the cold damage.
And then for my movement, 5, 10, 15. We're going to move like that, and then 20, like that.
Alright, anything else for your turn, Jay?
Nay, said the horse.
Alright, Emiko, it is your turn.
Is the one in front of me still up?
No, Vivian fucking sniped that bitch.
Okay, I'm gonna the white one's the enemy, right?
Yeah, this one is the one that's stuck in Rhymes Binding Ice. I marked it differently so that way I didn't forget.
Okay.
So this one can't move, and this one was the one that was attacking Xander before he shoot him away.
Okay. I think I can make it to the one that is in the ice.
Yes, you can.
Okay, yeah. Emiko's gonna move over there. Her first attack will her first attack will miss with a 10. Her second attack will hit with a natural 20. So 10 slashing, 10 acid, and 4 thunder damage.
No key to bump that accuracy on that 10, fam?
Do we know his AC?
It's 11.
Ah.
Honestly,
Give you-
no. I'm not
Give you
too
another
worried
weapon
about these
attack
guys.
as a bonus action?
I
That's fair.
already planned out hitting it with my fist, so it's gonna be a 19 to hit for 6 slashing, 3 acid, and 2 thunder.
Alright.
Fuck him up.
Damage is noted.
Okay, that's it.
Alright, Lycel, it is your turn.
Well, we actually hit this time a few times. Lycel is going to move up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and hit this one. How is this one looking?
The one that's stuck in the ice? Pretty
Yeah.
badly hurt after Emiko's wallops.
Alright, does... My lowest to hit was an 18 for the first attack and then a 19 for the second attack?
Those both hit. What damage does your Reaper weapon do?
It does necrotic.
Separate that for me. Well, it's immune to necrotic. I'm not gonna make you roll it just to be like, it didn't take it. It's immune to necrotic damage.
I'm actually going to Reaper's Mark it. Will that change anything? I forget if it's only resistances that nullifies.
I think when you are able to empower the mark, you can overcome immunities, but for right now, it is just resistances.
It does overcome resistance and immunity, but only for bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage.
Oh, I see.
Hmm.
Is it? Does it seem resistant to normal attacks?
Yes. So.
Sure, why? We'll still mark it.
Yeah, so the only thing it won't take is the necrotic.
So it's going to take 7 points for the first attack, 9 points for the second attack.
Alright, and that is enough to take this one out as both Emiko and Lycel just fucking walk up and start beating the shit out of it.
And then, having finished that one, we're going to step up to this one and hit this one right here with a critical hit for a total of 12 points of damage.
Where's the third attack coming from?
Bonus action attack.
Reaper's Mark takes a bonus action.
Oh yeah, you're right. New features.
Sorry,
New feature 2?
New feature 2? You're good.
Then that'll be it.
I understand the excitement of being like, fuck you, I don't care, I just want to use it. Because it's cool. But Chess, your Reaper's Mark attack is probably gonna kill the creature. I don't care! That +5 feels sick the first time. Alright. Anything else for your turn, Lycel?
Nope, that'll be it.
Alright, Vivian, it is your turn.
A shark the motherfucker.
I don't know, I find it weird that this
Takes
shark
another-
has a DO tattoo.
Takes another 13 points of radiant damage. Is he still up?
It is not.
Great.
This one falls to its knees, and similarly to the others, it screeches at the top of its lungs, and it pierces all of your ears like someone sticking a sharp shard of glass into them, and then it puffs and disappears. We are out of initiative.
Seems that as these things pass away, the evil dreams that compelled them toward these actions are drawn towards the dream catcher, which swirls and ebbs a deep, inky black as it captures them and then returns to normal.
Hell yeah.
There is further evil in this place. Let us look over this area and then continue. Do the creatures have anything on their corpses?
Kind of got the impression they didn't leave corpses at all.
These creatures have anything on their not corpses?
Give me 1 second. I am sending you something real quick.
Do they have any ectoplasmic residuum?
They do.
Have any...
There is 12 units worth of ectoplasmic webbing. You also actually find the physical tools that they were all carrying. Enough to... Basically, they have enough art supplies to make, like, a singular painter's kit, I believe is what it's called.
Yo, that's sick.
Like, literally, they were
Okay.
all holding random pieces of art supplies, and if you compile it all together, you have enough for a painter's kit.
Huh.
Shit, we in business, boy.
And then you find, 5, although lightly damaged, pieces of, like, fine clothes, I think is what they're called. Like, high-quality clothing. And you find a set of, pearl earrings. That are still in surprisingly good condition.
Vivian, would you like these painting supplies?
I think Vivian is diving for the earrings before any of her dumbass friends have the chance to put on a cursed item. And she fucking leaps across the room and snatches them out of your hand and throws them in the bag as quickly as she possibly can. She's sweating. If anyone gets close to her, she brandishes the shark at you.
Like,
None of
with
you
one-
motherfuckers are getting cursed right now. But then she says, yes, I love the painting supplies, thank you.
Like, stands up straight, suddenly, like makes her hair red again. Oh, yeah, I'd like that. Thank you.
Yeah, she's like covered in cobwebs. She just dunks it in the bag. It comes out fine. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and Johnny, does it seem to be magical, the earrings?
Make an Arcana check for, like, the split second you saw them.
Yeah. Whatever you want. I'm gonna fall asleep. Wait. No, I'll keep my detect magic up. If I could. 21.
Yeah, so, for the few moments you got to look at them, they don't look magical, but you can tell that they were, for a brief time, affected by magic to, like, stay pristine. Because they looked like well-maintained earrings. Like, they weren't rusted. The gem on it wasn't, the pearls were not, gross or cracked or anything. It looks like a brand new pair of earrings. But they seem,
They did?
at a glance, mundane.
Okay, got it. I just didn't realize you enjoyed jewelry so much.
Looks over at Emiko's bracelet. I don't.
Yeah, Johnny will take the painter supplies onto himself in that case. And yeah, if that's all, who's taking the ectoplasm?
Yoink. Into the bag.
Great. Perfect. But if ectoplasm is something that makes other things dirty, and if you put ectoplasm into the bag...
No. We've had this conversation before.
Okay.
If I take a burrito and I put it in there and I also put a pile of manure in there, the burrito comes out fine. We've had this exact...
Perfect.
Everyone laughed like, oh, like Minnow's being such a silly Billy. And no. It all comes back.
Okay.
Hey,
and we're gonna...
Chess, what kind of check would you argue that painting is?
Dexterity.
Shame.
Why is that?
Anytime anything deals with the arts, I always have people roll a performance check, even if it has to do with deftness of hands.
It's because drawing requires a lot of dexterity as someone who draws.
That's why I can't do it.
Yeah, but what about painting?
Also requires
Ooh.
it.
Painting, I just stare at it and use the power of my personality.
What if you're painting with like a big log with like blood on it? Then it would be like strength. Anyway, we're gonna keep going up the staircase.
All right. I would like all my friends to make me hearing-based perception checks.
Fuck.
Hearing based perception.
Well, because I know it's still dark, and I'm trying to make it where it's like you're not doing this to see something.
Good thing I have blind sense, right, guys? Haha.
Fucking set. Not again. Not again. Not again. Okay. 15. And then can I get that from Emiko and Lycel? Unless they were already up there and I'm just silly.
Lycel's in the bathroom.
Lycel's taking a shit. Okay, that's fine.
Myself, now's not the time.
So,
Just so everybody knows, by the way, the chances of this, like, weird shit happening where we keep rolling a 7 and then an 8 or like a 6 and then a 7, the chance of that happening is roughly 2 in 40, or 2 in 400, I mean, which is 1 in 200. And it keeps happening.
Probabilities coalesce as time continues.
Because it's a
It's
2 in
also-
20 chance multiplied by a 2 in 20 chance. That's how you get that particular permutation.
It's also 3 in 600 chance.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You know? It's good to know.
All right.
Oh, God.
So we got Vivian and Emiko. And you guys said that you were continuing to go up, right? I didn't make that up in my think thunk brain.
Yeah.
Okay. Emiko and Vivian, which is really funny because y'all both got different earsies. You both hear a particularly strange noise coming from the floor above you. It sounds like a strong breeze ruffling through fabric, like if you've ever heard like when a strong wind picks up a flag and it just goes very, very quickly. It just sounds like that, but filling the room. And to you, it seems very loud, but no one else seems to notice it or pick this up. Even though it sounds like it should be clear as day that is a noise coming from up ahead.
Great, yeah. I think she looks over it and says, "What the hell is that sound?" And then no one reacts.
What sound?
What do you mean? What sound? That sound?
While I still have my fly speed, can I start hovering up the stairs?
Yeah.
I want to see what's up there.
And now, real quick, now that Lycel is back, did you want to make that hearing-based perception check?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, sure, we can try. We can certainly try. Hey, that's pretty good. 23.
Yeah, Lycel, you hear this as well. This sound of, like, strong wind going through fabric. Again, sounds incredibly loud for you.
Strong wind going through fabric.
You're like, what did it do? Like when you hear like a flag with a breeze going through it really
okay,
fast. Yeah, like a fluttering kind of noise.
And where am I hearing this? Hearing this from?
Upstairs.
I think Lycel is just going to kind of like look up towards the general direction where they're hearing it from and kind of almost tilt their head.
Yeah. And Xander, as you go up and progress into the next floor, there's no door into the, similarly to the last few, there is no like door or entryway. It's just kind of like stairs that either keep going or you kind of exit off into the next floor. And you see this room where there is a bunch of like fabric hanging from the ceiling. It looks like different dresses. Some of them have like paint splattered all over them. Some of them look like they're more designer. This is another like exhibit of like and like multiple threads are used to hold these articles of clothing or dresses or whatever they are, because they're not all dresses. Some of them are like nightgowns, or some of them are like suits, or some of them are like robes. But the thing is that Xander, Johnny, and Jay see this, that it looks like clothing is just kind of suspended in the air by some strings displayed in an exhibit form. However, Emiko, Vivian, and Lycel, when you ascend up the staircase and see this as well, you don't see the same thing. You see scattered throughout the room, dangling from strings, are humanoid bodies. You see the same dresses, but you don't see them just empty. You see people in them, suspended in the air.
Well, I'm gonna fly up and take a closer look.
Who did you see saw the bodies inside the clothes?
Lycel, Emiko, and Vivian. And also, for all of you, you can, you see the clothes like ruffling a little bit, like there's a breeze as they're like suspended in the air. And you also hear the individuals in these clothes very lightly breathing, but like they're in a perpetual state of exhale.
Anything with detect magic?
Very, you still get that detection of like the paint in the walls, and you get a strong what I thought. Yeah, the necromancy here is a little stronger. It's still kind of faint, but a little stronger. Almost immediately at the top of the stairs, and the same feeling continues into the room.
We looked up and we see bodies, and then I looked over and I see Xander start to fly up towards them. Do we have any sort of indication that they do not see the bodies?
Unless no one has said anything, no. But you do know that Xander and Jay and whatnot didn't hear the same thing you did. Like, they acted like there was no noise at all. Because you said, what's that noise? And then they said, what noise?
I don't know if that's enough for me to metagame here, so I'm going to say, Xander, what's your plan?
Just taking a look.
Careful. I don't know what they're all doing. I just hear them breathing.
And yeah, I'm gonna use Mage Hand to move the clothes out of the way and see what's going on, because I don't know those corpses up there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to describe this. Xander, what you see is you see your mage hand move the dress like it's a much heavier object, you know, because like for you it just looks like a piece of cloth that you can just brush out of the way, but it looks like there's a certain amount of effort, but it still moves. And for Vivian, you see that when the mage hand touches this like figure, it starts to like shake its head, like wiggle its head around and start like salivating and wheezing very angrily, like like, and
she's gonna say,
yeah,
Prince Xander, I think you're waking it up.
Waking what up? It's just a dress. I call down to Vivian.
Are you okay, Vivian?
What do you mean?
There's someone inside that.
I think I would notice if there was a person floating above the fucking floor.
Yeah, really.
Lycel is the Reaper. That's not a person.
Can Vivian make a investigation check to see if this is an illusion she is experiencing?
Yeah, go for it. Hey everyone, this is your DM speaking, and nearing the end of this session, there was a lot of like things going on. Someone had to leave early, and also there was a miscommunication, and a lot of it is very hard to like comb through and edit. So I'm actually going to cut it off right here and just give a brief explanation. Essentially, they were in a room where there was where if people could hear a specific sound, it activated an illusion. And it was figured out eventually, but it activated illusion. However, if these ghosts that were horribly suspended in the air were exposed to firelight, the DC for the illusion was dropped down to 5. And eventually, the party were all able to see it and ended up leaving the creatures to their own devices. And that kind of set up for where we're going to be picking up next session. But yeah, there was just a lot going on for people in their personal lives this session, so it was very hard to comb through and edit, so that is why the session ends so abruptly. It doesn't happen very often, but in the case that it does, it does. But thank you all so much for watching, and hope you have a great night, or day, or I don't know, time's fake, we made it up.